All right, welcome back. And it's Breakfast Daily. And don't forget that the show is sponsored by Creamy Plus and Sky Water. And we do like to hear from you throughout the show as we're having our various conversations. Let's remind you that the WhatsApp line is 0204 447033. Now, yesterday we had some tragic news coming out of Brim North. Let me just read to you the story from citinewsroom.com, where you can get all your credible news updates. The story here is headlined 17 persons trapped as mining pit caves in at Brim North. It's a short story here. It says, rescue operations are underway to retrieve the bodies of 17 persons who have been trapped after a mining pit in which they were working collapsed on them at the Korle Teye Tarkoso site in Brim North district in the eastern region. Now, according to reports, out of 9 persons who were rescued from the debris moments after the collapse, 7 have been confirmed dead, leaving 2 alive. It's unclear what caused the collapse of the pit, but some community members suggest the heavy rainfall recorded in most parts of the country on Monday, May 15th, is a contributing factor. Now, Citi News understands that the rescue operation is currently being led by the locals and other miners in the area who chased out journalists who went to the scene to cover the unfortunate incident. The retrieved bodies have since been deposited at the morgue after a local ambulance was called in by the miners. So that's the story that we have there, and we're looking to get some updates on the situation on the ground. But again, this whole conversation about Galamsey, about safety in our local spaces. Yesterday we dealt quite extensively with the conversation about life jackets and the lack of life jackets. Yeah. The fact that we allow persons plying their trade or moving about in their normal daily activities to go unsupervised when we have systems and structures in place and the laws are there, and somehow through either negligence, either connivance, and any of these kinds of things, we allow people to continue to do what it is that they do. And then until a disaster like this happens, it's almost like it's business as usual. Meanwhile, the law exists for a reason. The rules exist for a reason, And then from the thing that is even irritating, is when a disaster happens, then it's about words of consolation, and then a certain, almost, I don't know to say pretense, but it's almost like, yeah, we have been talking to the people. They don't mind us. We have, it's like a leader suddenly take this posture of defeatism, and it's almost as if our hands are tied. We have been advising them. They don't mind us. Really? You're in charge.
You see, David, I think that in all this, look, we always talk about education. So for me, one thing is very clear, that whatever it is we call education is not what it is. The people still don't understand. Yeah. Okay. Now, sometimes you might think that, but they should know. But that is what ignorance does. Yeah. When we say ignorance is a disease, this is what we are talking about. If the person does not understand properly why they don't have to go there, whatever it is we are doing is waste. Yeah.
Which is you're right. You see, but for me, that's why we have leaders in our communities, and the leaders have been charged with the responsibility.
But you see, the thing is, David. Yes. So the point is, so let's say we have a group of, pardon me for this example. Yeah. Visually impaired persons. Yes. Okay. Yeah. They all can see. 10 of them. Yeah. If we decide to pick one of them as our leader, it does not, becoming a leader does not automatically make them see. Yes. They are still one. You see, that is why sometimes I find it difficult to call out on leaders and all this. Look, we just had the NDC primaries. Yeah. it is out of the local people that one will come out.
Yeah.
So if this is this is a way of thinking, this is a way of doing things, becoming a leader does not put them in any better position. Because if this is your understanding, if this is your mentality, it means that you are going to be even exerting your ignorance on us in a very confident way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I always say is, look, our educational system needs to be looked at. We need to start from scratch, how we think, how we do things. Otherwise, do not expect anything better from anybody, being a leader or a normal citizen. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Because if we are all here in Ghana and we all think that we can all throw rubbish in drains, we can all litter the place. Look, the issue is going to the polls tomorrow to pick somebody, okay, one of us,
amongst us,
will not change the person's mentality.
Yeah.
Don't let us also act like ostriches who do not know that this is just one of us. Look, the way we do things here, if tomorrow we choose one of us to become a general manager, it's still how we do things, how the person knows best what they are going to be doing.
So what's the place of local government, in the ministry of local government? Because you see, that's why. So let's talk about MCs. That's why they are appointed.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so everything comes back. So if the MC is failing, it looks bad on the president.
Yeah.
The president appointed the people.
And the whole Ghana as
the Ministry of
general.
Local Government is there. The district assemblies are under them.
Yes.
If they're failing, district assemblies are failing, the minister has to be hauled to parliament.
And Ghana is a failure. Ghana has failed. That's all I'm trying to say. Do you get it?
Okay.
That it is amongst the Ghanaians.
Yeah.
The minister of local government or the president didn't come from space.
Yeah.
They didn't come from the United States. They are not Singaporeans. They are Ghanaians. So all I'm trying to say is, if this is how we believe that we can do our things, taking one day to go to the polls and changing the title of that person will not bring any change. And that is why, for me, when people come out to say that when I become the president, I'll do this, when I become a minister, I'll do this, I take it with a pinch of salt. Because how are you going to achieve that?
What have you already
What
shown
have you
us
done?
that
You get it?
You can see that this is
As
what
a
you
people,
do.
because David, if all you know is, I wake up in the morning, I pick short, I go to work. I don't know how to drive. Okay, I haven't learned how to drive. If tomorrow we tell you that you are the GM of Citi TV or you are the CEO of Citi TV and this is your car, it does not mean that tomorrow morning you can drive.
Yeah.
If you do not go back to learn properly how to drive, you still, when you sit in that car, you are heading to doom.
Yeah.
You will kill everybody, including yourself.
Yeah.
And this is where we find ourselves. Look, so if David gets up to come and tell me that, oh, look, tomorrow I will drive, you know, let me become the GM, I'm going to be driving all of us every day. I'll make sure that we drive at top speed on the N1. You sit back and ask yourself that, but I know you.
Yeah.
You have not been to a driving school. I've never seen you drive before. You can't do the work. So how do you convince me? But it's so sad that because of how we also think and how we do our things, David will come and tell me that, oh, if you let me become your leader tomorrow, I will drive you on the motorway in less than 10 minutes. And we fall for this. Meanwhile, you know that the guy can't do it. And it is among us. You see, that is my challenge, that Ghanaians must change our way of doing things. Otherwise, we're just running around in circles. Look, where we are today, was it not about 8 years ago when we said, no, we don't like the NDC, no, we don't like President Mahama. We went to the polls and we voted against him. Today we are back. We said, no, the MPP is not good. We want him to come back again. It means there is something fundamentally wrong. Until we deal with those things, this is how we are going to lead our lives. We're just going to run some kind of merry-go-round and some kind of chase games and run around in circles and come back to where we are.
Well, our colleague who brought us that story, first of all, Neil Amate Kanako, has joined us on the line. Neil, good morning. Hello? Neil, good morning. Yes, welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you.
Yes, so what's the latest update on this story? The report you brought said that 7 people had passed on, 2 were still alive from the rescued people as at yesterday. Have any more been rescued? And what's the situation with the 2 who were alive yesterday?
Yeah, thank you very much. So, information picked up this morning
Okay.
happened late last night during the search of the bodies in that particular area. But fortunately, these people were rescued alive. And because of the depth of the search, the locals who were engaging in the search had to abandon the search and then continue on this morning because of the success. Currently, as we speak now, it's still ongoing, even though the place has become very volatile and has been a no-go area for journalists or the media in that particular area. So as we speak now, we are waiting for some clearance from the police before we can even move into the community, because this mining is being undertaken by the locals themselves and others who have also joined them in that area. And they believe that if news of this magnitude goes out, then I mean the government or the military will end up clamping down on activities for them to force whatever they are doing there. So as we speak now, the place has become a no-go area for journalists in the region.
So, sort of paint a picture for us. What sort of pit was this? What sort of pit was this that they were mining in?
So, the enclave happens to be both a mining and a farming community. Anybody who knows the terrain in the Brim North area knows that that is even where the Newmont are operating, the Action mines are operating. The place is rich with the minerals, and a number of people have moved to the area to also engage in mining. What is happening there is the locals themselves are also engaging in this mining. So they take place, some with operators. Majority of the concessions have also been given to them by politicians. According to the information gathered from our sources, these politicians have bought the concessions and given to the people to work on. So they dig very deep underground, and then you could find at the concessions, it's possible you can find more than 100 people or 200 people working at a particular site in that particular area. Now, what happened was these people were engaging in mining, and yesterday we recorded for close to 3 or 4 hours continuous rainfall in the region, most part of the region. So if it happens like that, the soil becomes very soft, and majority of them believe that resulted in the caving in of the face. Now, when it happened, the Citi elect for the Brim North area, that is the NDC Citi elect Mohammed Nuruddin, was on a thank you tour in the area when the news broke out. So he himself and his team went to assist the people in the rescue mission. When he tried to even take out his phone to take some shots of the bodies which were being received, he almost ended in some scuffles because the people, the locals, knew that he was going to put a dent on the work that they are doing in that particular area. Other local journalists who are very close to the area who got the hint and then also went to capture or cover the unfortunate incidents were chased with machetes. They were chased with machetes from that area. So as we speak, we are planning on to get police protection before we can even move to that particular area as we speak.
Okay, so considering how volatile the community has become, ostensibly to protect themselves from exposure, as it were, to the to the world in terms of what has happened in the community, are there state agencies there like NADMO, police? Are any of those, have they been able to go into the community to help out with the rescue operation?
Yes, I believe now the NADMO will be aware of it, because yesterday when it happened and then I personally contacted NADMO. They told me they'll get back to me because they are not even aware about it. And why they've not been aware, they were not aware yesterday was because the people themselves prevented the media from covering. Because they believe that if the media comes in, if the issue go out, then that means there's going to be a team sent from the military command to come and clamp down whatever they are doing. But as we speak in the sense, the news has gone viral. I believe now the regional NADMO team and even the district NADMO team are aware about this. Some of us are currently on our way to the police to also see how best they can help us in getting to that particular area.
So it seems as though even though the mining has been going on for some time, and some of these lands were given as concessions by politicians to these people to work the land, it seems as though they have the mindset that what they're doing is actually illegal, and therefore should it come to the broader light of the rest of the country, they will be stopped. Is that the sense you get?
Yes, that's exactly the case now. Now, there are even other areas here in the eastern region where they objected the mining and even government community mining. But as we speak now, majority of them are even engaging in the mining themselves because you go to sleep, you wake up in the morning, and then your farmland has been destroyed, degraded, and mines are done. So what do you get in return? Either you have to go and look for the people and then seek for compensation, or you yourself will take care or will take control of your land and also engage in the illegal mining. The majority of the people who stood against illegal mining, government community mining engagement, are now even taking part with their family members.
Okay, so thank you very much, Ni Kanaku, for bringing us this update. We need to get to the bottom of this and understand exactly, the ramifications of what is happening. I don't think that, we should have anywhere in Ghana that it's like a no-go area. To me, that's a country in anarchy,
Look, David, we've spoken about this continuously, and now, it's even difficult trying to find the right words to talk about this. But for me, I think our problem in this country is still education. Okay, because
I think it's enforcement of law.
But you see,
people conform and will learn when you insist on this. You see, because you can tell them. You can tell them.
Yes.
You can tell them. But if they want to do what they want to do, they will do what they want to do.
But you see, the thing too is, if people are educated and they understand what it is we are talking about, it even makes the work easier. Do you get it?
The enforcement becomes easier.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the whole trouble of now having to be arresting people will be minimized, because there are certain things
but you know that everywhere in the world, people conform because of the fear of arrests.
But there are also certain fundamental things that people know. So you go elsewhere and they tell you that, people are not littering, okay, and children don't even do this. Look, common sense. To deal with common sense, we are talking about education here. So my point is, you can't arrest everybody and keep them. So if you,
you don't need to arrest everybody.
I'm even saying something. Hold on.
The fear of arrest is what spreads.
I'm even saying something, okay? Because the people to enforce the law, the people on whom the laws will be enforced, we all need to understand certain things. Do you get it? If we go out there to say that we are educating people, my point is, it's not just about stepping out there. But the thing is, what are you telling them? Whatever you are telling them, do they really understand? Look, because there are certain things that common sense should tell you that if you put your hand in fire, you are burning yourself, you can die. But people will do it because they don't really understand. The education has not gone down very well with them. Do you get it? And for me, that is what we are dealing with in this country. If people understand, trying to enforce the laws, the enforcers themselves will know that I won't accept bribe. If you are found guilty, it means you are found guilty.
Yeah.
Ghana belongs to all of us. We can't do certain things. Look, people have been trapped in this. Trust me, by evening, there'll be other people in a pit.
Yeah.
Trying to go and do the same thing.
Yeah.
So even if you, but people need to understand
in their mind, it won't happen to them.
Exactly. Whatever it is I'm going to do, this is very dangerous. I can lose my life. Is it worth it? So you're not even sitting down for somebody to come and arrest you or somebody to come and do that. Certain things you yourself know that I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
We've been joined on the line by the DCE of Brim, Alfred Redu. The NADMO operations manager for Brim North, Alfred Redu Ajiman. Good morning, sir. Hello. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes, Mr. Ajiman. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you very much.
Yes, so can you bring us up to speed in terms of rescue operations, what NADMO is aware of that is going on in the Brim North with this collapse of the pit?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your cherry viewers. Around 8 p.m., we received a call from our Deputy District Director, Mr. Douglas Adumako, in respect of a Galamsey disaster which occurred at Korle Teye in the Korle Teye near Etiasi in the Brim North district. According to him, 10 people were retrieved from there, and we realized 11 persons have lost their lives, remaining 3 survivors. So the 3 survivors were sent to the Holy Family Hospital in Nkoko. And the incident, according to them, occurred between 4 to 4:30 p.m. yesterday.
Okay. Hello?
Hello, I'm on the line.
Yes. All right. So, what's the current update? I mean, you're giving us what happened as of yesterday. What's the current update in terms of?
I can speak with you now.
Yes. Yes.
District Chief Executive, in the company of the District Police Commander, the NADMO District Director, and other members of the DISEC are on their way going to the disaster thing. So we are always going to Korle Teye, and we are hoping to get answers from them any moment from now.
And so the total number of 17 that were trapped initially, that's correct, as far as you know?
No, according to one of the survivors, 3 people survived. According to one of the survivors, they were 10 in the pit.
Oh, I see. Not 17.
No. According to one of the survivors, they were 10 in the pit.
Okay.
But they realized, when they were rescued, they realized 7 of them have lost their lives. Remaining 3. And currently the 3 are receiving treatment at the Holy Family Hospital at Nkoko.
So is the rescue mission over? Everybody has been retrieved so far?
Yeah, I cannot say it's over because the initial rescue that occurred was among some of the Galamsey people themselves.
Okay.
So it wasn't a special rescue team that was dispatched the scene. It was their colleague Galamsey people.
Okay.
They embarked on the initial rescue.
But if 7 are dead and 3 are alive, that comes to the 10 that were in the pit.
Yeah, that comes to the 10 that were.
So are you hoping that there may be others that you can rescue alive later? Or you're done?
That is what we are trying to get in touch with. We want to get in touch with the Newmont mining company. They have the capacity, they have the logistics, and they have the rescue team. So we've delegated our district director to get in touch with the Lemons company.
Okay.
So that they will come in with the competent search and rescue team to continue with whatever industry.
All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much to you, Alfred Redu-Agyemang. He is the operations manager for NADMO Secretariat in Brim North. So it looks like some conflicting figures there.
Yeah.
So the report we had was, it was 17 in total. 7 had passed on out of the 9 that had been rescued.
Yeah.
2 were alive. We're still looking for the other 8 other people. But he says that from what the information he has, all 10 that were in the pit have been rescued. Well, I mean, 2, 3, we should say 3 rescued, 7 other bodies retrieved.
I mean, they've all been found. Yes.
You know. So, well, we'll find out from the DCE what the report is at his level as well. But again, I mean, back to what we're talking about, I think that the issue of regulation is very, very, very critical.
Yeah.
And we've abandoned a lot of our spaces to be completely left to be unregulated, you know. I understand the education part, you know, because it's critical to lay the foundation to say it's a basic understanding of what is expected of each of us. But recalcitrance is something that grows, you know, when there's no punishment, you know, and when
you
people
are so spot on.
When people feel as though, oh, I know there's punishment for this, but this 10 people went and did it and there was no punishment, then it emboldens me to also go and try.
So that comes back to what I just keep saying, that we've set the laws, people need to enforce it.
Yeah.
The people who say they are enforcing the laws, do they understand
even why the law needs to be enforced?
Do you get it?
So
the thing is, look, we go out there, we do researches, we come out with findings, we just put them on the shelf. We go and do another one. How many times haven't we had committees, you know, to probe into why this happened, what that happened, what do we do with those things? Do you understand?
Yeah.
We say one thing, we
Look
go
at this
over
building
to
collapse at Medina. There's no report out yet.
We go do something, we say something, we do the opposite. Do you get it? My point is, whatever it is we say we are teaching people, let us look at the content. So children are going to school, we are educating them. Can we now sit down and really pay attention to what it is we are teaching them? Just getting up every day to dress up and go and sit in the classroom is not education.
No.
So what are you putting in them at the end of, let's say, 10 years, when they come out as graduates? What is in them? Do you get it? And that is why we have people with a lot of titles, a lot of who are decorated with all manners of degrees. They do things and you ask yourself, are these learned people? Are these the doctors? Are these the professors? You know, because you just can't understand our way of thinking, why we do what we do. And that is why somebody will say that, yes, I'm going to be enforcing the law, but they get there and they're taking bribes.
Yeah.
Look, how long have we been talking about Galamsey issues? Why are we still here?
Yeah.
It keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
Can't we see that there is something fundamentally wrong with whatever approach it is that we say we are doing? If we do not change this, David, we will have the best of laws. We will have this. Even enforcing it will be a problem. Yeah. Because it is pretty obvious.
But we do have the best of laws.
Thank you very much.
Really,
what have we done?
Nothing.
With those laws. And sometimes, okay, to a very large extent, people need to understand. That's what my thing is. You should know that getting into this pit, I can die. Even if somebody is not going to arrest me, I will die. I can lose my life. Do the people have this understanding? Look, sometimes you might think that, oh, poverty will let people do everything. Yes, but it all comes back. So somebody will know that it is better I go into farming than to think of smart ways to make money. It is better for me to, you know, go learn a trade than to think that I can engage in Galamsey, go into the pit and do this. That is what I'm talking about. If you go there and go and talk to them, what are you telling them for them to understand? Because if one person understands what you're trying to say and they change, you know, their way of life, it helps the whole country. Because if you change, if I change, if he changes, if she changes,
we're all better
we
off.
all all become one solid society. And that is why elsewhere you go there and children even know that don't put things on the floor because they understand the implications of having an epidemic. They understand if there's some kind of disease breakout, we are all at risk. You don't need a policeman to put a cane on you all the time that don't put a rubbish there. Can we even have enough policemen to go around to do this work? Do you get it? So my thing is, if we say, because we keep hearing, we've been educating the people, they are not listening to us. What are you telling them? The people who are educating them.
But when you finish educating, start lashing people. People don't want to be caned.
You
so
see,
if you lash them, they'll stop.
The thing is, can we really take the educational materials and go into it? And look, do you get it? Because the person even enforcing the law is the one who is found guilty. Because authorities will come and tell people that don't do this, don't do that. But we live in the community where we see that these guys have concessions. So do they themselves even understand what they say they are doing? Do you understand? And the basic thing is education. Regardless of your qualification and everything. If you don't understand, you don't understand. You get, I mean, you open our books and sometimes the kind of things you see, these are things that we learned when you and I were still in class 6. Young students today are doing the same thing. The world has changed. Our way of doing things have changed. So whatever it is we are even learning in our classrooms or even out there on the street, can we, you know, put those things to practice today? Are they relevant to how the world has changed today from top to bottom? And these are some of the things we really need to pay attention to.
All right, well, let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk to some other people regarding this matter. All right, welcome back. And we're having this conversation about Galamsey, the pit that has collapsed in Brim North. And it's a very worrying situation because it's not just about the current happenings there, but what it means across the country for the thousands of pits that have been dug in different places, the miners that are involved in all of those things, plus the power brokers, the politicians who have given them these concessions, because that's an allegation that has come out, that the concession, the people, Neil was saying that the miners were chasing, the town folk and the miners were chasing out the journalists because they don't want exposure. Well, we're joined on the line by Darrell Bosu, who is the Deputy National Director for Arocha, Ghana. Darrell, good morning. Hello, Darrell.
Good morning.
Yes, welcome
good morning.
Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Yes, good morning. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Right. Now, I don't know if this story has come to your attention yet, the collapse of the pit at Brim North. Okay. So what is Arocha's thinking currently on this matter?
Well, thank you for having us on the show. I think what I can say is that the incidence of deaths and fatalities that is associated with Galamsey is an issue of neglect by the state, because this is happening on a day-to-day basis in mining sites, particularly in the southern part of the country, where the soils are soft, and once they start digging, it caves and all of that. It's happening on a daily basis, to the extent that even on occasion they hide and keep the information hidden from both community members and the police and not more. So for me, I think it's an issue all Ghanaians should be worried about, because it looks like our lives don't matter to the state, who we have contracted to be in a position to protect all of us. I mean, we tried to do an analysis of fatalities recorded within the Galamsey sector from 2010 to present, and we counted no less than 30 recorded or reported incidents of death across mining sites in the country.
Wow.
No less than 1,000. Now, if any country is very serious at protecting its citizens, we will not sit on this matter as if nothing is not happening. And for me, that is where the problem is. So it's a very, very serious issue, and it's happening on a day-to-day basis. In most cases, the issues are being kept hidden from the public and also from NAGMO and the agencies that are supposed to be taking note of this. And the fact that the state itself is not taking measures to address it is, for me, very worrying. Now, it's not only, yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. And I was also going to say that, now, aside the people dying out of abandoned pits or mine sites collapsing on people and people drowning and all of that, there are a lot of fatalities associated with pollution coming from the mining sector. So if you look at the spectrum of the areas of fatalities associated with the Galamsey issue, and the fact that that in itself is not highlighting an issue of emergency for our government to deal with it as expected, then you know that the state does not care about these people, and that is why they are watching us die like dogs out there. And for me, I think it's unfortunate that these issues keep happening, and I mean, reading the incident about the fact that even the miners were preventing journalists from going to the ground to report on the issue shows that we've become so reckless with our lives and irresponsible to the extent that we'd rather die and not report it. And I have to be frank with you, it's happening everywhere. There were incidences in Atuwa Forest where miners went into the forest, the tree fell on them because they were digging right under the tree, and there were attempts by the community people to hide the incident. And this for me is very, very, so for me, I saw the news, I was very sad about it, but I think that our state doesn't care about these people. Our lives doesn't matter that much to the people whom we have contracted to protect us. And that is unfortunate.
Would you consider this, considering the figures you're mentioning, would you consider this of crisis proportions, a national crisis?
Galamsey and the menace and its associated impact or negative repercussions has been an emergency for all of us from day one. The only entity who has not seen it as an emergency is our government, who we have empowered with state resources to take action to protect all of us our interests. And so that is where the matter is. The citizens, the communities who are affected, see it as an issue of urgency requiring emergency action, but our government does not see it as such. And that is why for more than 6 years, we've been playing around the issue, going in circles, just because a lot of them are benefiting from the process. And that for me is how bad the situation is now.
Yeah. All right, Darrell, thank you very much. We could keep talking. The issues are so many.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you very much for your time. We've been speaking with Darrell Bosu, who is the Deputy National Director for Arocha Ghana, and they're very key in that space in understanding the issues that are there. He says at least 1,000 people, have been recorded to have lost their lives in the recent past. And so the point that leaders don't really care is being made more stark, because a few days ago, children lost their lives, right? It was being made to look like an accident that could not have been prevented, which is unfortunate, right? You're looking at things that people are doing that can be avoided and can be prevented. But the leadership that we've appointed in this country seems not to care, but rather in some cases to take advantage of people for their own benefit, right? And to the detriment, and sometimes in this case, the death of these people.
David, have you noticed that in this country, okay, depending on where you sit,
Yeah.
that is when you pass a certain kind of judgment. So if it benefits you,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
It is God who has come through. God has answered our
Yeah,
prayers. Okay.
yeah.
If you sit on the other side,
side.
then you can see the wrongs going on. And this is what I keep saying. This is the problem we are facing. The leaders that we have entrusted our lives into their hands, who are they? Where did they come from? Okay. So we are all here. Okay, we do things in a certain way. I see the things you do, you see the things I do. But I come back to support you because I know that when you get power,
Yeah.
I will benefit.
Yeah.
We have all failed each other. Look, that's why I keep going back to the point that it takes one day to change somebody's title. Look, you are David, you've been a Ghanaian all your life.
Yeah.
It will take just one day of election. And the next day, your title has changed. It has not changed who you are, your character. If you're a reckless person, you are a reckless person, just that this time around, you have a bigger platform.
Reckless person with power.
Thank you very much. So what do you think is going to happen? Is it going to be
Powerful
worse?
recklessness.
Thank you very much. Did you get it? So if we do not begin to change things, look, in the next 5 years, it will even get worse. Because check for the past 5 years how we have done with Galamsey.
Yeah.
It's worse than 5 years ago. Now we talk about we'll be importing water, we'll be doing this, we'll be doing that. Are we still not doing the same things we are doing? And we talk about the leaders. I keep asking myself, who are the leaders? Where did they come from? Until we all change, okay, and realize that if you are my father, if you are my sister, and you do wrong, we will call you out. And until the people have this understanding and have the boldness to do this and say that I will not care even if I will benefit, we will still have these issues.
Yeah. If they cared about their own safety, if they cared about things happening properly, they wouldn't be chasing journalists out.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
They don't even understand that these guys
and
are
like
here.
like what Darrell said, in many other cases, it's been covered. So incidents have happened. People are in the Tiwa forest digging underneath trees. Trees collapse on the people in the pit, and they keep it hush-hush.
Look, David, we live in a community where you have people being abused in relationships.
Yeah.
And yet they come out to defend them.
Yeah.
We have situations where a father will abuse a child or a mother will abuse their own biological children. When the matter comes, they feel that, oh, if you arrest them, what are we going to eat? Is the breadwinner? Do you know where I'm coming from?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, there was one thing like that. So, if you arrest my dad,
Thank you very much.
What will we eat?
This is what we are talking about. What is our understanding of issues?
Yeah.
We are all, look, we are
Whereas
all wrong.
elsewhere, the state takes charge and says, we protect the child, arrest the father, we will feed the child. So the child doesn't have to worry about what they will eat.
And it is human beings who make the system work.
Yes.
So if the human beings do not understand, look, the education we're talking about has nothing to do with, I've gone to school, I have master's degree, I have PhD, I have this is that. That's not what we are saying. You can go through this formal system, but come out as empty and useless as
Which
possible.
a lot of people have done.
Exactly. Do you get it? We need to let people understand why they need to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll just keep going on and on and on and on. Because, look, I always ask people that if I become a minister of state today, minister of education today, and you are my friend, and you come to me that your child got aggregate 20-something, but your child wants to be in an A-class school, and I tell you, I won't do this for you because your child did not pass, would you accept it as my friend?
Well, I mean,
Not you
yes,
as David.
Yeah.
Generally,
people will
feel
like
that.
Now,
thank you very much.
When you got power,
now
you have become, you know.
But what is corruption?
But they expect you to do the wrong thing.
What is corruption? Because it will benefit you.
Yeah.
But if you understand that we need to clean up educational system, you will also understand that my child did not make the mark, and so my child does not deserve
so it's
to
not
be
your
here.
friend's fault,
Thank
it's
you
your
very
child's
much.
fault.
Until we change this our mentality, we'll keep doing this.